Hi beautiful people, SP here, aka Orgasmic Shopper. Today's video is going to be a short one about my tongue piercing. I had my tongue pierced about 4 weeks ago. It wasn't something I went into the piercing shop to do originally. My daughter and I went in to get 7 piercings done between us. She had 3, I had 4. She had her belly button, nose and her cartilage done, and I had 2 in my cartilage on one side, 1 on the other, and of course my tongue piercing. So this is what it looks like currently. Now, I think that I heal fairly well. I think that it's one of the best piercings you can ever have done, so I thoroughly recommend it. It's definitely my favourite. It's taken over from my wrist piercing here, which I'll do a video on another day. Now, I would say that the pain that you would experience is minimal. I have got quite high pain threshold anyway, but from other people on YouTube that I've seen, they say the same thing, that it wasn't that painful. I would say on a scale to 10, 1 to 10, it was about a 2. So it was minimal, probably the least painful piercing I've had done, and I've got 25, so I kind of know a little bit about pain and piercings. So when I went in to have it done, it was on a whim, wasn't really thought about. I felt that it would be different, kind of cool, and that's kind of right. People think it's really cool, they think it looks really nice. I was told to experience some swelling and to take some ibuprofen straight away. So I went and got some of these. If you can see that, if it focuses. They're a form of ibuprofen, which I got from a store called Boots, which you can get in the UK. Other brands I'm sure are available all over the world, but in Boots they sell a large packet of them for about £10, which would last you through the worst of the times of needing it. It's not only for pain, it's to reduce the swelling, which obviously will happen because you've just had a needle stuck through your tongue. I went out straight away afterwards that night. I was yakking away for a good 8 hours, so it did swell a little bit, but I made sure that I took notice of what my piercer said. Told me to buy some non-alcohol mouthwash, so that's what I got, some Listerine with no alcohol. And every time I had something to eat or drink, that's what I used. I also made sure that I used one of these little old toothbrush and made sure that obviously I brushed carefully around the piercing, because obviously you don't want to harm it in any way, but you do have to make sure that you are someone who has got good hygiene in the first instance, because if you're not, and you're not someone who brushes their teeth often or their tongue or uses mouthwash, then I don't think a tongue piercing is really for you, because you'll easily get an infection and that won't be pretty, people. What I did decide to do, because obviously you can see that this is quite big to carry around everywhere, after the first sort of week or so, I stopped using it quite so often in such a strong form. I decided to get a little bottle, which you can get from any sort of shop like Superdrug, Boots, supermarkets, whatever, and diluted it so it's 50-50. And I carry that everywhere, I still do. So if I've had something to eat or drink, I just give it a quick swirl and it's all clean again. So there's not going to be any problems later on. I took the ibuprofen, these little babies, for about a week. And I also had small ice chips, not big ice cubes, but chips, just small enough where you can sort of roll it around your mouth, all around the sort of swollen area, because some of your taste buds will be a little bit swollen on one side. That seems to be quite a common thing. So I did it sort of not all the time, but certainly for the first few days. And within 4 days, the 22ml bar that you get pierced with, I got changed for an 18ml because it rapidly stopped swelling and gone down, and then another 4 days after that I got it changed to a 16. I would have had it done sooner, but the piercer was away. So I feel that the ice chips definitely helped, along with the ibuprofen, and obviously good hygiene, like I've said already. Coolest things about having a tongue piercing. I think it looks good. I think it's kind of fun. Obviously, when you first get it done, you're going to talk like you've got a mouthful of marbles in the mouth. Only to be expected, because obviously it's swollen a little bit. You've got, as it's reducing swelling, you've got a massive bar, which is getting in the way of eating and drinking. With regards to food, I felt that soft foods were the best way. I've heard people saying, oh, I went for a steak after, and oh yeah, I ate whatever I wanted and it was fine. Yeah, not me. I lived on soft food, mashed potato namely, and made sure it was cool. That was the also another thing that I found I had to do. Having something super hot with already aggravated taste buds was not a good look. So I decided to make sure that it was cooled sufficiently enough to eat. Good thing about mashed potato or other soft foods similar is that you can just let it sort of like slip down your throat without having to sort of chew or aggravate anything. And I was happy with that. Made sure I drank plenty of water. That also seemed to help. And I don't really see any drawbacks to having a tongue piercing. The only thing you've got to be careful of is eating a little bit more slowly. Because you could end up chipping a tooth or biting on the ball at the top. Not the one near the webbing underneath, but the one at the top. Especially if you've got like maybe a 6mm ball or bigger. It could get in the way. Now, I had exactly this problem when I filmed the same video a couple of days ago, and I bit onto something, and I just felt that something wasn't quite right. And when I spat, sounds disgusting, I know, but I spat out what I had in my mouth because I didn't want to swallow anything, and I found out that I'd bitten the top of the ball off. It was a sparkly little number that I had in. The rest of the bar and underneath obviously were intact and it was fine. Didn't chip a tooth or anything, but it was so badly damaged somehow that I couldn't even see the hole to screw it back on again. Luckily, I had a spare, which I always recommend you have, just in case you're not able to get to somewhere that sells a spare bar and ball, or just another ball. But as long as you've got a spare, then you've got the whole kit to hand, which I would recommend that you either, if you're someone who's always in the car, have one in the car and have one at home maybe. That way you're not having to panic about it closing up, or you're not having one in your mouth altogether. So they're my recommendations. Some people have said that they've chipped teeth and stuff, but I'm not really sure how you end up doing that, frankly, because it's so far away from your teeth. Unless you've really bit down on something, I can't see how you do that. But maybe if you got, I don't know, you're eating too quickly, or the ball isn't sort of screwed on tightly enough, maybe that can happen. A good idea is to always sort of check it, maybe every couple of days or daily, just after you've brushed your teeth, maybe in the morning, just to make sure it's screwed down properly, because obviously you don't want to lose it, especially if you're out and about and you don't have a spare, or you're not able to be able to just go and sort it all out. So, you know, always best to be prepared, I feel. So, as I say, I think it looks great. I think I can talk fairly normally now. I don't feel like I speak any differently now to what I used to. I think that it's something you can have at all ages. I don't think that really it's made me any less professional. Purely for the fact that you can't see it. Like most of my piercings, you can't see unless I want you to see them. I'm not someone who really feels that having them all over my face is something that I want. It's not to say that it's not something that should be done. I think it looks cool on other people, especially sort of nose rings or nasalings or any of those. I think they look really nice. Medusa piercings, I like them, but for me personally, it's not where I want to have pierced. So having my tongue's a naughty little number. Sexually, I'm sure it will make someone very happy. I've heard. Some people get it done for that reason. Me, I just did it because I like the look of it. This is a new channel for me, by the way, guys. So I would really appreciate it. Really appreciate it if you liked this video. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification as well, please. So when I upload a new video, you'll be the first ones to see it. So comment down below for anything that you want to ask me about the tongue piercing. I'll be doing many more videos about various piercings that I've got. And I look forward to making some more. All right, my beautiful shoppers. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you all. Mwah.